All right, good afternoon. Just about 2 o'clock, so we can start. Welcome and thank you for joining me for this presentation, NinzaCo's presentation, I should say, of Origin Recoil. We're going to be talking about this indicator, what it does, how it's different than some others, and of course, we'll be looking at live charts. Before we go there, just a couple of words about myself, since they made this very nice slide over here. So my name is James Buchman. Been trading for a few days, like 7,000. Uh, and I have my own community. I have my own live trading room. Um, Still negotiating as far as having a consistent demonstration room, like not a trading room, but a separate demonstration room for NinzaCo indicators. Right now, I had it this morning, for example, for Origin Recoil, but I want to make it more consistent, maybe like 3 days a week to run different indicators, and it would be free for subscribers, of course. But mainly, what I do in my room every morning is share my trading plan for the NASDAQ and S&P. For example, today with the S&P, before the market opened, we knew we want to be short below 66.18 towards 66.03 and 65.87, major level 65.87, which we actually went long at 65.87. In the Nasdaq, it was below 24,210, targeting 24,060. Market did get down to 60 and then bounced pretty strong. So this is what we do every day. If you want to trade with a plan, if you need some help creating a plan, if you just want to hear me share my plan, by all means, come on in. We have a great community and the traders who are doing very well. Lots of payouts and passing evaluations and all of that good stuff. In any case, let's begin with recoil, Origin Recoil. So, what does it do? What is it all about? So it is not, it might look like a support resistance kind of deal. It's really not in a conventional sense. It's more of what this indicator does. It identifies fast momentum. It identifies an unusually fast bars that are created because of very fast trade executions. 1 minute here. Something went wrong. 1 second. Here we go. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay. Sorry. No, I cannot allow any AIs or anything like that, guys. I'm sorry. It just gets disrupted and no. All right. So, fast execution, why is that important? It probably implies institutional intervention, right? For whatever reason, particular bars all of a sudden have a lot of orders. Now, when it comes to King Renko bars, ninZaRenko bars, I imagine also range bars, tick charts, right? These are not time-based charts. So we don't know how fast, how much time passes for each bar to form. And again, time time bars don't have that because a 1 minute bar would take 1 minute to form, of course. But a King Renko bar, a ninZaRenko bar, tick bar chart, tick bar, range bar, right? They could take different periods of time to form. They would print very quickly when a lot of orders are happening very quickly. And what it indicates is, like I said, institutional activity, and this is what we want. So, of course, it's suitable for day trade. Well, I would say it's especially good for scalping, though, especially if you're going to be using King Renko, ninZaRenko. Those are better for scalps. We have some back testing. I really want to get to the actual charts, but the back testing was done by NinzaCo. This is not me, this is them, done on gold. on a NASDAQ with a my I use the King Renko of 36, slightly different than this one. That's what I shared in my NinjaCo indicator demonstration room today, King Renko. So let's get though to the actual indicator and what it does. Again, we will be looking at live charts, but first I just want to kind of give you an idea. So what Origin Recoil does, it identifies levels where at some point in the past, and probably very recent past, lots of activity took place. Then what it waits for is for price to come back to this area of high activity. So this is not support resistance. I know it looks like it. It's based on momentum. So it's all about speed, right? Speed of candles. Speed of candles lets us know that if they form very fast, that indeed there is some action taking place. When candles form slowly, this means there is not a lot of interest, and very often price just kind of chops around. But with high speed, very often pretty big moves happen. So the bars are colored, right? So when you have these gray bars, this just means not much is happening, low speed. The yellow bars just means these bars are forming fast. So you know what? Maybe let's get to an actual chart. Let's get to an actual chart. We can always come back to the slideshow. So 1 minute here. Maybe I can explain it even better when we are looking at a chart. 1 minute. Let me find it. So it's this one. All right. So let me kind of start explaining this. So this is the ninZaRenko bar, right? And you see how like not much is happening until the indicator identifies very quick, and we're going to be talking about this box over here, the kinetic bar box. But let me just kind of explain what happens here. It identifies these bars as having lots of orders that were executed really fast. So it identifies it. Then it waits for price to come back toward that zone here that it identified as a zone with a lot of activity. As price enters, and I guess with confirmation, a bar must close out of it, or at least a bar must close up with, I imagine, again, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, some kind of momentum, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, price holds this zone, right? So we have a fast and we have a super fast. If all price can do is just to come to the upper area, that becomes a super fast recoil or reversal. If it goes to the more of a gray zone, it still would come out fast, but it's not super fast. So I guess if it can really dig into there, it probably means it's a better trade if you can wait for that. So, so we have this again: reaction, 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 and then it identifies very quickly another. So as price comes out of one very fast zone, the indicator identifies another very fast zone. And same idea that price just gonna leave this area pretty fast. Test and out, test and out, test and out. And now it stops printing it because I guess there is no more really fast bar formation. We have a bearish bar, but there was no price, never left it. So you see how there was no signal here. Yes, it identified some pretty quick selling, but price never really left this box to come back into it, so no signal. Here it is again. Again, price just did not come back into this area, so there was no signal, but here it did, right? So again, another lots of buying, very fast bar formation coming back, and here is a long. And this is now in real time. This is happening right now. Price again comes back into this zone. There was a signal right over here, and it's trying to bounce out of it. Now, let's talk about this box because it's pretty interesting. Hopefully, we can see this in real time. So what this box informs you is this is the kinetic engine, right? This is going to talk about the energy of every bar. So it gives you the, hopefully you guys can see this. This is an average speed. It tells you the average speed right now in real time is about 15.6 seconds per bar. In other words, it takes 15.6 seconds. Now it's changed, but okay, so now it's 15.6 seconds to form a bar. However, the current speed is zero point 0.3 seconds. You see? So if the current speed is far less than the average speed, this means there is a lot of participation, more than at least average participation, and this means there is more activity. So it tells you that the time speed is like whatever it was, 400%, 4,000% greater. When it's not the case, you see it's not yellow anymore. It's not yellow anymore because again, the average is 15.4, but current speed is 27.8. So the current speed is slower than the average speed, which means there is less participation. And the whole idea here is we don't want to participate when there is a small amount of participation. We want to participate when orders are taken quickly, because this means there is more interest in the current price, and we could see a pretty substantial move away from this zone. Okay, so this is happening in real time. So we can take a second just to see if indeed we're going to have a bounce from here. Just give it like a minute or so. Again, because of the time of day after 2 o'clock, maybe there is not too much interest, but for now it's at least holding this area. Now let me show you a chart that, where is it? That I actually ran as a demonstration um, in Discord. Second. Okay. Okay, so let me, where is that? Okay, zoom, share, boom, go. Okay, so this is a King Renko bar, and in Zoom this morning because I really have no time to watch it. I was running a trading room, so I really wasn't watching it. And really, if you're going to be using a King Renko bar, ninZaRenko bar, I highly recommend Captain Optimus because things just happen too fast. There was no way to catch it in real time. But again, let me kind of just show you. It's the same exact principle, right? So there was an identification of bars forming very quickly, which forms the zone. Then the idea is price needs to come back into the zone and come out. And in other words, a reversal bar would give you a signal, and Captain Optimus will take that signal, right? So we have a number of these. Again, catching them manually just too difficult. So, right, so you see how quickly price comes out. Now, here is a selling. We didn't have a sell with a ninZaRenko, but same exact idea here. So, the indicator identifies lots and lots of orders coming in quickly and a filled. Identifies the zone, price goes back, bar reverses down, and we have a short. Again, the kinetic engine will tell you if it's yellow like this, if it's yellow, it tells you that right now in real time, bars are forming quicker than average. That just lets you know that we're probably going to have a pretty sharp move, or at least a very fast move. So this is now real time, right, from the sell zone to the buy zone, and you see how these are identified ahead of time. And then, of course, reversal bar up. And what is interesting is that we're trading right at 24,210. And today in the trading room for us, it was a very important price. Here we are again. So these are the basic components and purpose, I guess, of this indicator. So again, not so much support resistance as much as speed, right? Momentum. That's what this indicator is all about. Right, let's get back to the slideshow. And then, of course, going to take questions and whatnot. Um, so where is the... Okay, here we go. Okay, so everything is color coded as we've seen. When it's gray, it just means the bars are forming slow. When it's yellow, bars are forming fast. So we've seen the zone, right? The signal occurs when price reverses inside the zone. We've seen this kind of deal. There is fast, and then there is super fast. I guess fast is it just leaves immediately, and and the more dark blue that's the super fast. I don't know why my one of my charts looks weird. Okay, um, right. So it looks for reactions after price enters these zones. Now, it is my understanding is it is specifically made for King Renko and ninZaRenko. Although I bet it could do a decent job with range charts as well. So this is what we've seen, right? Sell zone, lots of selling activity, waiting for price to come back toward this zone before a signal is generated. Why don't you want to trade with slower bars? Slower bars just means there is not a lot of participation. There is no true imbalance. There is no impulse. You probably want to stay away from markets that at a certain time just trade slow. It could just result in a lot of chop. This probably would help eliminating at least some chop. Not obviously all chop could be eliminated, but it would eliminate at least some chop. Here, ninZaRenko gives settings for different instruments and different King Renko and ninZaRenko bricks. So I did use, yeah, this looks familiar. I think I did use one of their recommendations for settings, NASDAQ, gold. Is anyone still trading gold? Gold has been such a crazy market. Um, Yeah, so again, it's everything we have seen. There is not too much to it. This is really for momentum trading. If you're a momentum trader, you would appreciate this because it's not your, I mean, hence the name, Origin Recoil. What does it mean? Origin. Well, that's where the move originates because most of the orders, when bars are moving fast, again, it means institutional activity, and that is the origin of the move. So origin recoil, origin zone is identified, and then moving away from those zones. These are all different examples. We've seen a few on the live chart. Captain Optimus, again, highly recommend for really catching these moves on small brick sizes, especially. I don't so things are moving too fast. There was no way to catch those manually, in my opinion. I know I would not be able to. So before we go, try to catch some trades actually using Captain Optimus. This is the offer from NinjaCo. So 306 for the indicator, and there is a voucher, looks like, for 300. If you want to combine it with Captain Optimus, 896. Algo Engines, of course, this is the strategy building software. If you're into strategy building, you could combine that for an additional savings. But so that's this. We're going to come back to this. Let me see if we can catch some actual trades with Captain Optimus on a King Renko. Hopefully, I didn't mess anything up. So bear with me here. Uh, so share, boom. Okay, so let's enable. Now this is a sim account, of course, right? We know that. This is a sim account. So let's enable both longs and shorts. And as long as it didn't mess anything up, when there is a signal, we should see a signal. So you see here now the kinetic box here is yellow, means bars are moving faster than average. And it's no surprise, of course, because it's right near our zone here. So we expect that. See if we can catch a trade. And as long as I didn't mess anything up, there will be a trade. It's the same account. Yeah, it's the same account. Again, this is a sim account. Well, I'll take a look at some questions while we're waiting here. Um, so private message. No, no, in the room. Oh, here we go. I didn't mess anything up. Look at that. I did not mess it up. Okay, so again, price went into the zone, reversal bar, and Captain Optimus grabs the trade. Now, probably not the best location for a stop, but we'll just let this play out. The idea is you really want it to be like, below the zone, but it's all right. Just let this play out. So yeah, in the room, I don't trade with any indicators. I'm talking about my actual trading room. In the trading room, there are no indicators. I share my plan at 9 o'clock, again at 9:30, right before the open, like 9:25. It's based on other stuff. It's not based on any indicator. So we know exactly what we're looking for. We first identify market condition. Is it a bullish condition? Is it a bearish condition? In a bearish condition, we look for shorts. Bullish condition, we look for longs. Some targets could be very far away. I'm not saying someone could hold for the full target. Today, again, below 66.18, the target was 65.87. So, yeah, pretty far away, but they did hit it. NASDAQ below 210 was 130, and then 24,060, and then a reaction back up. Okay, so price is inside the zone. I imagine if it triggers here, it would be in a super fast area now because it's in a dark blue. So let's see. This is 36 brick size. I just want to give it a couple of minutes. Let's see if we can trigger some kind of a trade. I think if we have a reversal bar, there should be a trade. Okay, let's see another question. Can you show the ES? Will this work on a custom Renko? Well, it would definitely work on a custom Renko. I guess you would need to just find best settings. Um, you want to try the ES? Yeah, I don't. I imagine 36 is a bit much for the ES. I could be wrong. Let's check it out. You asked. Let's see. Let's see how this would look on S&P. So again, maybe 36 is a bit much for the S&P, but this is the S&P. But obviously, this is from a different. This trade did not happen here, right? Um, Let me just maybe close. So this is the S&P. I mean, not bad, right? So the same exact thing identifies quick selling, price goes in, here is the short. Then we have fast buying, right? So then a long, and then right back to the zone. So maybe not too bad. So maybe the 36 is not too bad. Let's look back in time. Over here. Now, this, of course, was actually overnight. So, yeah, 36 is probably a bit much for the S&P. But but this is from this morning. So first a sell, then a buy at around 10 o'clock. You know, in S&P terms, these are pretty big moves. Okay, let's go back to the NASDAQ. So yeah, unfortunately we missed this signal. There was a signal here, but we were with the S&P, but that's okay. Let's let me see other questions. 12.4. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to go back to the S&P and we'll try it on a 12.4. Okay. S&P. Um, let's do 12.4. 12.4. Let's do that. Okay. So a bit better, obviously. At least we have, yeah, 12.4 is probably better for the S&P. So here is the S&P on a 12.4. This is pre-session. This is now during a buying area. Yeah, so I mean, obviously the move up was the one um, right of the low, right? So what's interesting with this, maybe it's a bit off topic, but what's interesting here is that you can actually make sense of it, right? So there is this low, right? And then they come and they break it by a little bit, but very basic trading stuff, right? This is actually a liquidity sweep, like a trap, right over here. So if coming out of this, all of a sudden the bars are forming very fast, which means lots and lots of orders are being executed very fast. this is a very good hint. We could see a substantial move higher, right? So that's exactly what it does. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I think S&P is one of the toughest markets to trade with indicators. I traded the way I trade it is with no indicators. Um, Indicators are tough with the S&P. This is actually pretty good, all things considered. I mean, I think this is really good, especially, if you have some basic knowledge and you can just identify a lower low that's immediately rejected, that should be a heads up anyway. This is also combined with what we did in the room with the 6587. We did expect 6587 to hold overall and the move higher to happen. So this would be, combined with that idea. So yeah, I mean, interesting. Let's see other questions. Okay. Oh, Charles, hello. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, so let's maybe go back to the NASDAQ again. Yeah, my hat is off to you. If you can trade the S&P with indicators, that's it's a tricky thing. Okay, so in the NASDAQ now we are waiting for a zone to form. We do have bars that show some pretty good speed. This one did not give much, gave something. This was the one I missed, of course. It's the way it happens, right? Okay. Yes, Bob, you are right. I did not. I'm sure they have settings specifically for the ES. I'm sure they gotta be because settings for the Nasdaq probably would not work for the S&P. So you are right about that. I just don't want to be looking to try and find settings for the S&P. Okay, now things look really slow. Maybe let's take a look at the ninZaRenko. Where's my ninZaRenko chart? Let's take a look at the ninZaRenko chart. Uh, Now here I don't have Captain Optimus. I did not import Captain Optimus onto this chart. So this zone was originally pretty much ignored. Price went through it, but did not come back until just now. Right, it just came back into it now. Boy, things really slow down. Maybe let's go back to the slideshow again, because this is really slow. All right, Okay. All right. So, yep. So these are the offers for this indicator and combination with other indicators. Captain Optimus, of course. Algo engines. Fiber scalping. Wow, I didn't see fiber scalping in a while. I used to make. I did at least one video on fiber scalping. Okay. All right. Well, let's see if there are no questions. I really don't have much more to add here. Um, Again, this is for traders who can appreciate momentum and what it means. I mean, that's what this indicator is about. Identifying momentum beyond just support resistance. Okay. Did I show you the back test? I think I showed you guys the back test, right? They ran back tests on it. If you want to know about settings, the safest thing to do is to contact NinjaTrader support directly. Um, I probably would not be able to help you here. After all, they coded this indicator, they know it better than anyone else. Okay. All right. Thank you for attending this webinar. If you have any questions that I can help you with, again, don't make it about the indicator itself. That should go to NinZaRenko. If you have any questions about what I do or any trading questions that go beyond indicators, you can email me. My email, you can, of course, come to our Discord server. Let me just check the chat box one more time. The codes. Yes, sir. Codes. Codes are here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you in the next webinar, which I imagine we could have another one in April. So thank you, everyone. See you next time.